let's talk about vices, but more in particular, the vice grip that substances holds over us. Because I feel pretty qualified to talk about this because over recent years I've managed to kick a lot of pretty gripping vices that I've had. I went through my drug phase as a teenager. I never got super into it because, I got into certain things, but it never got really, really bad. It wasn't like I was doing it every single day, but there was probably a few months where I was doing at least some kind of drugs, not weed. I'm not counting that as a drug, but at least like once a week. And I kind of grew out of that, and I didn't really feel like I had to kick it. Weed, I smoked so much weed. Like, it was my personality for probably 2 or 3 years. And I'm talking, I smoked a lot of weed every single day. I don't think I'd gone a day without weed in probably 12 to 18 months. And it feels normal. But again, eventually I kind of grew out of that. I kind of stopped enjoying it and realised why it was shitty. But what is more, I think more people can relate to is cigarettes and alcohol. Now, cigarettes, I think when I stopped smoking weed, I just got onto cigarettes. I had the vapes for a little bit, but then I learned about the reduced testosterone and bull issues that you get from smoking vapes. So I dropped them out, but cigarettes, I was pretty big on those. And cigarettes is such a casual and easy one, and it's kind of romanticized in a lot of TV, especially Peaky Blinders, if you're into that. When I watch an episode of Peaky Blinders, all I want to do is smoke a fag and drink a glass of whiskey. But we smoke cigarettes at any point. Like I say, they're so casual and they're so convenient that any slight inconvenience that comes up for you, any slight little stressor, any waiting around that you've got to do, you'll smoke and roll up a fag. Same with where you kind of use them as a shield. I definitely did this in slightly awkward social situations. You would just smoke a cigarette because it's comforting and kind of takes the edge off a situation in a way where you have something to do. People, for some reason, don't like to just sit there and be present with the person that they're talking to. If you go over and chat to a girl, more than likely you're going to want a cigarette first, because you don't just want to stand there awkwardly. You can smoke the cigarette and it gives you something to do in a way, so you don't feel as awkward. But it's just a cover up for your inconfidence, basically. And the neural pathways, I'm pretty sure most people will know this, that the neurons go through your brain, and the pathways that they use, the more they use them, the easier it is for them to use them again. And they like the path of least resistance. Think of walking through a field of grass. If you walk along the same line, eventually the grass is going to be all flattened down, and it's going to create a path eventually. And that's the same way that it works in your brain. But people like my age, younger people, they all know the negative effects of cigarettes and smoking. But because it comes on so slowly and it feels so off in the distance, they know, I get a bit of a cough, maybe a sore throat, shortness of breath, and maybe years and years down the line, heart disease, lung cancer. But it just feels so distant and like it's never going to happen. They don't care. What I suggest is just realizing what it could be like if you didn't smoke. How good it feels to have a clear, healthy chest. How much healthier you feel, how much more energy you have, less headaches, you're not coughing up phlegm every hour. And the only way that you can realize that is by cutting it out for cold turkey for about 2 weeks. And that is the hardest part, because once you realize how good it is on the other side, you don't want to go back. You won't want to go back. And that's exactly how it was for me and alcohol. Alcohol is such a big one, especially in the UK, where it's just a cultural thing, and if you're not drinking then you're a bit weird. And people probably won't, like, I don't have people chat shit to me about it, and they're nice enough, but they won't really want to hang out with you because they think you're boring and, well, he's not drinking, like, well, what are we going to do? And that's kind of mentality that we have in the UK, where if we're not going out for drinks, then what are we going to do? But do you want to be like normal people, or do you want to be, you know, do you want to reach for the stars? And once I realized how good it is not drinking, I don't even feel the need to drink. And I went through this whole process once before, and it was amazing. I think it was summer of 23. I was doing big stints in between drinking alcohol, and then I kind of relapsed a bit. I was feeling low sort of towards mid-autumn, early winter time. And when Christmas came around, it was very easy and convenient to drink. There was alcohol in the house, and I work in a bar, and it just became very casual, drinking here and there. And it slowly built up, and I didn't realise the effect that it was having on sober me, because it was such in small increments, and it's not a massive issue. You don't realise the effect that it's having. And when I kicked it again from January 1st, like, I used to kid myself into thinking, because I work night shifts, the only way that I can sort of stay awake up until 3 o'clock is by drinking alcohol. Now I don't drink it at all. I come home from work and I'm not even that tired, and I can get up the next day and actually do stuff in the day because I feel okay. Granted, I get up late, but I still have time to do stuff. I'm more confident in general. I'm more outgoing when I'm at work. I'm more outgoing speaking to people in general. Less brain fog, more energy. And I went the whole month of January no drinking and didn't even really feel the urge to drink. There was plenty of opportunity, but I didn't feel the urge because I felt so amazing not drinking. I drank a little bit on my birthday, had a couple drinks the day after that, and haven't drank since. So it's been another about 10 days or so, and I feel fine. I don't even feel the urge to drink alcohol whatsoever. And you're gonna relapse. It's comforting to drink alcohol. It's familiar, and, you know, it feels sociable to drink alcohol. And like, completely fair enough, you're gonna relapse and you're gonna go back to having a few drinks, because at the first it's gonna feel awkward. You're gonna want to have drinks because it's what you're so used to, and you're not really gonna know what to do with yourself. But once you're used to your true self, once you can actually be yourself, it gets much easier. Like I say, relapse is fine. Don't fucking overdo it. Don't get absolutely shit-faced and, you know, ruin the next 3 days. But if you relapse and go for a few drinks, don't fucking kick yourself. I smoked a couple of fags. I think, like, this past weekend I had 2 cigarettes over the 2 days. And because I just don't believe in that you have to be 100% strict all the time. Like, you know, have a fucking dessert, have a pint every few weeks if you really want to. Everything in moderation. And it's just comfortable to have a couple of drinks, and that's fine. But I'm telling you, once you realise how good it can be on the other side of not doing any of these vices, it becomes much easier to quit, like you know you should, because you don't want to do it anymore. You want all the benefits. Try not to look at the negatives that you're getting rid of. Try to look at all the benefits that you're going to gain when you kick this shit out of your life, because honestly, I never felt better.